Alright guys, so this is tutorial number 3 of 4 of my popcorn editing process, and now we're going to move on to the bag spin explosion the bag spin explosion shot that probably a lot of you seen from Daniel Schiffer, but now I'm going to show you guys how I did it and how I edited it so it all worked together. So first what we're going to do is just jump right into the shots that I took right off the camera. So I've already went through the shots. I found the ones that are rotating the smoothest of the two bags, right? And then from knowing this process, I actually threw the popcorn multiple different ways, but knowing this and knowing how this worked is that the only one that really works is when you hit the popcorn or object straight up, because if you throw it the other way, you see fall off, and you don't want fall off in your explosion. That just doesn't work. So these are the 3 shots that I ended up with the stick. Perfect, just like that. First thing that we're going to do, since these are raw, before I export them for After Effects, we're just going to go in and put the base grade on them again, like that. Boom. And then it's just a Rec 709 LUT that I'm putting on top of all these shots, just to get the information out as I can. So then I'm going to make my in and out points. In, Command M, again, Apple ProRes 422 QuickTime. Use maximum render quality and then render at maximum depth. Name this whatever you want and export. Then we're going to go jump into After Effects, and we're going to start with the white bag spin. Let me take this off real fast. All right, I'm going to take this mask off and we're going to start. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is just going to mask it out. And this is going to be a slow, gruesome process, but this is how you have to do this one. It's just because you can do the wire removal, but the thing is I need this bag on a clean slate. If you have the money, do paper backdrops, way better than doing these cloth backdrops. There's way too many issues with wrinkles and just non-even lighting, but I don't have the money, so we are going to remove this bag now. All right, so you're gonna go up here, click on the pen tool. You're gonna zoom in, and I'm gonna do a very loose one just to show you guys how it's done, but you really wanna follow along these lines. Make sure that you get it as best as you can. And we're gonna come down here. This might be sped up in post, so I'm just gonna talk and pretend like I'm doing things. Make sure you mask out the whole thing. Hold the H tool so you can grab the screen without using the pen. Come back in here and keep on clicking along. So just doing that. Keep on going, keep on going, keep on going. Okay, so that's pretty decent, but we're gonna wanna go in now under mask 1, and we're gonna wanna feather it a little bit because you don't want a rough edge like that. And then we're gonna also click the stopwatch on mask path. First important thing to do. All right, now we're gonna take the time, this playhead scrubber, and go all the way across like that. Perfect. Now we're gonna do the opposite side all the way as the bag rotated the other way. Why you do the front and the back first is because the mask is gonna move now since you put that first keyframe in, and it saves you a lot of work if you do the first and the last, because then you don't have to move the points as much. Yes, they're not gonna line up perfectly, but then we go into the center one next, because less is more when it comes to masking. I know that sounds strange, but if you try to do too much forcing with your masking and you're trying to do each frame, it's noticeable to the human eye. So sometimes like having it not perfect and letting it smoothly do its thing instead of you tweaking every single one so it's exact looks a lot better. All right, so we're gonna find this point right here and we're gonna just replace it. Kind of remember where you stuck your points beforehand. That's important because they are gonna need to, you don't want them to adjust too much. All right, so as you can see, I had to do quite a few different points to get that mask right, and you can even do a little more. I'm just kind of speeding up through this process because I've done this before, and this is not the most fun thing to do again, but you get the idea. Just go through it, make sure that you're doing it right. And then, let's see. All right, after that is I'm going to save this, which I do. I mean, not save it. I'm going to go Command C, and I'm going to bring it in to a new composition, which I did like this. Sorry, one sec. Let's go back to project. So the first thing I want to do is background JPEG, and I'm going to bring that in with a new composition. This is just a screenshot that I mean, not a screenshot, a picture that I took of the background. Perfect for it. And we're going to lay the bag on top, just like that. Now you can see the bag rotates freely. Amazing, right? This is not long enough, unfortunately, so we're going to have to go to composition settings and make this, what are we at? Duration. Let's make it 5 seconds or 8 seconds just to be safe. Cool. All right, so now we can stretch this out and we can make this background a little bit longer. Bring this back in, which is right here, because this is the length that we're going to need. Trim comp to work area. Perfect. All right, so here we go. Here's the bag spinning all the way around. Pretty simple. I did mess it up there a little bit, which we can fix. So you can see as I spin right there, that one drops and repeats with that one, which is kind of a mistake, but let's see if we can fix it. They rotate, so we actually want to keep this one out here. That will solve that problem. Hopefully, let's see. Okay, cool. That's pretty good. All right, so now we got our bag. Beautiful. And it's blending in pretty well with the background. That's why that feather helps. All right, so now we're gonna click on the white bag spin, press P. We got our position. We're gonna wanna start the bag off frame, just like this. And that's gonna be our first keyframe. We're gonna click the stopwatch. And then as the bag spins, we're gonna move it up, hold shift. If we wanna do a straight, you can do any kind of movement you want, but that is the movement we're gonna do. Press play. And right there, right when it's facing center is when we're gonna have it explode. Easy peasy. All right. So the next thing we want is our popcorn. Same process here. So all I did was mask this. As you can see, I started where the popcorn was, trying to show, I want to show as a little bit of the pink background as possible, and then I mask it with a nice feather and follow the popcorn off screen like that. Very simple. I'm not going to remask this to show you guys. It's very simple, but we're going to go Command C, and we are going to bring this onto our new shot, which is, which is right here, the background shot. And we're gonna want the popcorn to explode, like I said, right there. So I'm gonna Command V right into here. I think that's gonna be solid. That's when the popcorn explodes. All right, we're gonna drag it into place, which I want the popcorn exploding right there. We're gonna press S, scale this down because the popcorn is way too large. Still a little too large, scale it down a little bit more. We're gonna rotate, press R, rotate, just get it all nice and framed up like so. That looks pretty good on the size. I like that. The next thing we're gonna do is actually drag the exploding popcorn underneath, because now it looks like it's coming from outside the bag. I mean inside the bag, sorry. So perfect, that looks amazing. This actually is going to bring it down right here. And now we're just going to do our tracking points, and we want it to follow along with the bag. So clicking on this, we're going to press P, put in the stopwatch. And a good way to track this is keep this spot or one of the spots on the same point in the bag the whole time. And remember, less is more with this, just like everything else. So now I'm going to move it up so it's following with the bag, just like that. I think that's pretty good. Exploding out. And then more. Just keep making sure that it's following along with the bag. Beautiful. And then right as the popcorn stops, that's when my video is going to end. So let's see how that looks. That looks pretty good. All right, so now we're going to need to do this. We're going to have to duplicate this, Command D. And I'll show you why. Because we're going to go into key light. And we're going to drag the key light effect onto the top one. Perfect. We're going to select our screen color, which is right here. It looks amazing. I'm going to turn off this back one really fast. Alrighty. We're going to just do a little bit more if I remember, just to get it. But as you can see, it's going to start affecting the popcorn. Let's bring it down just a little bit. That looks pretty good. And then with the next one right here, we're just going to drop these curves. And then I'm going to put the opacity from 0 to 100 right here on the keyframes. Then we're going to just move it like that. And boom, there's the explosion. And now you can watch it. The background's not there. And it's perfect. And as you can see, it fades out right there. That's as the popcorn starts dropping, that is when I'm going to cut it, because you can see popcorn fly off the edge right here as well. And that is how I did the bag spin exploding popcorn. Same thing with the last video. We just go to File, Add to Render Queue, Export, Add to Render Queue. Name it whatever you want. And then we do best settings. We do best full resolution. Okay. And then go to QuickTime, RGB, millions of colors, format options, animation. And that is how you're not going to lose any quality when you export and bring it back into Premiere, and then you bring it back into Premiere and color grade. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, and remember that there's still one more tutorial, which is product touch-up or product retouching. And that one is my favorite because there's so many amazing things and techniques that you can use with that. And that's going to encompass Premiere, Photoshop, and After Effects. That's right, Photoshop. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments, please leave them below. I hope that you like it and subscribe. And until next time.